So the first place I'm going to start is General Setup, which is this page that we see here. And we're going to go to the Document Library Setup area. There are a few additional settings here. The first one is to allow external documents. So what these settings will do is turn on additional functionality in the document library area, which we'll look at in a moment. You don't need to use these, of course. They're just some of the new features that are available to you if you'd like to. So ticking this first box, allow external documents, means that you can keep track of a document in our Maestro that is actually an external one. So you don't necessarily need to upload a file, but you can still have a record of it in your library. So that might be, for example, a USB or a CD that you don't actually have in Air Maestro, but you still need to distribute updates about it and keep track of when it's due for revision. Document categories, this was always there actually. You could always define document categories, but now you can actually turn it off if it's not of any use to you. So that will be things such as photographs, documents, letters, and so on. And we'll see that screen pop up when I go through the process of uploading a document in a moment. Manual alerts, this is not new. You could always create a manual alert from a document. However, it's now been turned off. Well, you can turn it off if you'd like to use distribution lists instead or as well as. So now we get to the new stuff. So enable distribution lists is a new setting. Once you tick that on, you can choose if you'd like to also include contact types to be available for selection in your distribution list. So I'll just explain what they are. If we go under operations and head to personnel. So obviously your Air Maestro personnel will always be available for selection in those distribution lists, but we do actually have other sorts of contacts that are available to you. So if, for example, you would also like to include passengers, students, suppliers, you can do so from your contacts list. If you use that functionality, if you didn't know it was there, and maybe you do now, it's kind of a shortened personnel register. So people that are not people with Air Maestro logins, but people that you would like to register as your contacts and store their email addresses and phone numbers and so on. So let's head back over here to the setup. So that's what this means. So once you tick on enable distribution lists, you can choose if you'd also like to include any of those contact types from your contact register. Enable external resource type. So this is also new. So an external resource type is again something that is external to the system that you don't have a record for. So that will allow you to type in an email address, a Gmail address or some sort of address, so someone else that is not stored in your Air Maestro site. And another setting that we have here is the ability to add your own reply to email address. So quite often when you send items from Air Maestro, there has previously been a generic no reply email address that the notice gets sent from. Through feedback from our customers, for this particular option, they wanted to have a reply to email address. So that might be your librarian's email address, it might be your ops manager, whoever's appropriate. The last option we have now here in the settings page is custom fields. So you're likely familiar with the term custom fields. They are used throughout Air Maestro, mainly in, well, actually all of the modules, flight records, timesheets, safety reports, and so on. Well, you now have the ability to also have custom fields in your document library. I'm going to turn this on just to show you where it would appear in the document library as we go through the process of uploading a document. We have an example that probably doesn't actually match document library very well, but it's an example nonetheless. And the custom fields, of course, are created in the same way that they would be in any other module, in that when you click the Add New Field button, you're presented with a group of about 20 different control types. You might like to just add one or two, perhaps, you know, a text box or something to add additional notes to that. It's really up to you whether you'd like to use that functionality or not, but it is there for you now if you want to. Okay, so that is the document library setup. Let's head over to the document library now. So the first thing that we see that is new is the fact that you have this Pick Columns button now. So clicking that button will pop up this, this little window here. It will show you all of the available fields from the document library table, including your own custom fields should you use them. And ticking this will make them appear in the overview summary screen. I'm just going to reset the columns as well. So that's an additional way to filter on them, because once the column is there, you can choose to filter on these if you'd like to add an example in there, and also just helps with the overview if you're trying to find something quickly. Okay, so let's go through the process of adding a new file. So that button has not changed. This is what's changed. So the tabs here. So you can generally just click the select button and choose something to upload. You can also mention if there are any external document references. Generally, you would leave that. The next step of the wizard is hopefully a familiar screen to you. These fields haven't changed. They've just been, I guess, reorganized. So you can still enter a reference number, a description. These were the document categories that I mentioned earlier. So if we just switch back here to the setup view, you can turn that off now if those document categories are not applicable to you. Version, of course, and revision date. So that's the date that you last updated the file. We then have, again, the same fields that we had previously in the last version, the next review date. So this is the date when the document is next due for a review, and the responsible person or persons. So those are the people that will get the reminder prior to this document needing review. And then we have a new field called librarian notes. It's just a large text field in case you want to add your own notes about this document. Next step, this is where we see the custom fields. So just briefly flicking back here, had I disabled custom fields, we would not see that tab. I've just enabled it for the purpose of the demo. So on this page, you can choose whatever you'd like to build, you know, any other additional fields that you'd like to track per document will be displayed here. And obviously if you have that setting off, you'll go straight to the next tab, which is the distribution list. So the process of creating a distribution list, you click on Add New Record. First of all, you're prompted for the media type. So for this distribution list, it's going to be an electronic PDF, just one copy of that. I can select my resource type. So in this example, I'm going to send it to everyone at the Adelaide base. So ticking that top box ticks all of the ones underneath. Maybe that's a bit too much. I think I'll just actually send it to the pilots. And then I can add some notes if I want to, and I click on Create. I'm going to add another one as well. Let's say I would also like to record that there is a physical copy of this in the back of some aircraft seating in my aircraft. So I'm going to choose physical printed. There are 4 copies in this aircraft, and I'll choose my aircraft that it's going on. You'll recall in the setup, I turned on the ability to have different resource contact types. So that is what is appearing here. That's my contact list if I'd like to send them to any clients or suppliers from my contact register. So I'm going to click on Create for that too. So I have 2 distribution lists attached to this now, one for my aircraft and one for the personnel, and I chose Adelaide Pilots. So let's have a look at this screen. We have a notification here or a reminder that several of these people do not have email addresses in their profiles. It's a test site, that's why, but you can see mine does. So that's all good to go, and it's marked as not yet distributed. If I do in fact want to add an email address, I can just click into that red box and it takes me to that user's page, and I can add an email address in there if I want to. So the status is something to look out for. You know, it's telling me I haven't distributed this yet. Once I do, it'll have the time that it was sent. And then there's an acknowledgement column as well, so I can see when everybody has acknowledged it. So now let's say I would like to actually send this out. So I'm going to click on the people I'd like to send it to and request acknowledgement. It's asking me if I'd like to add an optional message, and I can also attach the actual document to the email if I want to. If I was to just send out an email now, I could click this box. What I can also do is email and print. This pop-up is telling me, again, the people that don't have an associated email address. So I'm just going to click OK to ignore that for now. Oh, I've got a pop-up blocked here, one moment. So if you are sending physical copies of this document out, I didn't mark it as a physical document, but for the aircraft I did, so I'll show you what it looks like then. You can actually print a receipt as well, and on the receipt you would then sort of bundle it up with the physical document and send that out as well. So let's go down here and click on request acknowledgement, and hopefully this one will actually give us a receipt to go with it. There we go. So this is sort of a pre-filled receipt document that you can print off and send with that physical media, if you like. It fills in most of the fields from the document details and criteria. It also lists the base and the aircraft that it belongs to, and when it was issued. This is pretty hard-coded because it was created for a particular customer. However, through usage, obviously we would love your feedback if you have anything that you'd like to change or not. Okay, close window and return to document library. So I've refreshed this box now, and it's showing me all of the people that I've sent this out to you to. It's also sent this email, so it is telling me the following document distribution has been enabled for this file. It's telling me the type and who it was sent to. And please read the document. Because I didn't tick the option to have the document added to the email, it hasn't included it. I'd actually like them to go into Maestro and properly read and acknowledge this. And then I have the actual date timestamp that they read it. So you can see the status has changed to awaiting acknowledgement. It's got a date timestamp of when it was sent for both the physical one and the email copy. Once people have actually logged in and acknowledged this, that column will also be populated. So let me just do something here to show you what it looks like on the recipient's end. So let's say I got this email. I'm now going to click on that email and it should take me to my alert screen. Give that a second to load and I'll show you what the document alert looks like. So very similar to how you would use your document alerts, your manual alerts, just basically telling me I'm required to acknowledge the receipt of this document name in this format. And there's a link there for me to click on it and read it. You can see there's an additional option here on the right hand side, report issue to user admin. And what that does is it will open up an email to the person that sent it to me. So the person that created that distribution list. And it's just an auto sort of populated email saying I have an issue with accessing this, and it populates the name of the file in there. That will then obviously prompt them to contact you in some way or another, maybe reply to the email or pick up the phone and find out what issue you had with that document. As all other document alerts in Maestro previously, you can't actually just tick that box and get through your alert. You have to click on this download file before that is clicked, so it ensures that you have actually downloaded and read that. Okay, so now let's go back and have a look what that looks like in the document library now that I've actually read it. So if I refresh this, that status has now changed to acknowledged. It's put the date timestamp in there, and I have a record of that person. I can also change, obviously, the filters here if I want to see those that have been acknowledged or not, and it should shorten the list for me. Now I'm just going to pause for a second to see if there are any questions. I've allowed all of you to use your mics, so please speak up if you have questions. No questions. Okay. The final thing that I'd like to show you is when you right-click on any of these documents, these are all generally the same as what you would have seen in previous versions of our Maestro, except for an additional one here, edit distribution list. So if you choose that, it'll take you straight into your pop-up box. Rather than having to click through all of these files. Obviously you're not uploading a new version, you probably just want to check on the status of your previous one. Last item actually that I is probably relevant in this demo is, let me just impersonate myself again so I can show you. You obviously want to keep track of items that have been sent to you. So under the My Profile menu, there is a new option called My Distributions. And that will take you into the document library and just show you those ones that have been sent to you, listed there, regardless of whether they're acknowledged or not. You can always refer back to the ones that have been sent to you previously. It does show you the distribution status, but it's blocked out, so you can't actually just change that yourself. Okay, that is the end of the demo, short and sweet. I'll just bring us back to the setup page for those of you that weren't here in the first few minutes in case you wanted some clarification on any of those settings. So open up to questions now again.
Hi Nina, my name is Alex.
Hi Alex.
Just checking, when is this getting released, this version?
Good question. So it should be on all dev or test sites already. If you don't have one already, Alex, then let me know where you're from and I can check the status of that for you.
Yeah, I'm from Skytrans.
Okay, so Skytrans should have a dev site. I can give you the details of that. I'll send you an email after this call.
Okay. Fantastic.
But so it was, general release was supposed to be this week. We found a bug in the scheduler, so we've put it on hold, and general release should now be next week. So what we'll do is we'll send you a notice out saying that this week your site will be updated. There's generally no downtime at all, and you'll get like a pop-up on the front screen letting you know your site's been updated.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? No? Okay, well, thank you for your time, and keep an eye out for some other module-specific webinars coming to us in the next few weeks. We have change management, forms, and roster scheduler as well. And if you do want to see if your dev or test site has 3.7, check it. Let me know if you don't have a dev site. Let me know if it's not upgraded and I'll get it sorted for you. Okay, thanks everyone. Take care. Have a good week. Bye.
Thank you.